All right, everyone, what's up? It's your girl, Miss Sophia, the diva. Oh my God. Queen Sugar was so good tonight, and I think it's just going to keep getting better. So, this episode is episode 3 of season 1. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Anyway, thy will be done, and I think it is appropriately titled because we saw in season 1 the passing of a father and giving him back and sending him back into the light, as Nova would have said. This episode got to me too. I had to break out the tissue box the last 15 minutes of the episode. Thank you, Ava, and writer of Queen Sugar and Oprah, for the tears. First of all, let me just say this. As a person who handles trust and estates all day, every day, let me give a shout out just for specifically Pops having an estate plan in place and having the presence of mind to do one after the birth of his son, which I guess he thought was going to be his namesake. I think in this episode we discover partially how and why Ralph Angel ended up in prison for whatever it is that he did. They still really didn't tell us what he did. We also saw the men in this episode, I don't know, kind of take the lead. I don't know how I want to describe it, but excuse me. I don't know how I want to describe it, but it was just a really interesting episode. So basically, when the episode opens up, there's the reading of the will. Aunt Vi got the boat. The children got the 800 plus acres to be split between them per stirpes, share and share alike. Basically is what that is. And I think this was a good example of someone dying testate as opposed to intestate. You can do your last will and testament. You can do a trust if you wanted to, but at least he had an estate plan in place. And immediately when they discover and see what the date is after the lawyer reads it, she's like, oh, it was such and such in 1989. And they were like, he didn't even have time to change his estate. It doesn't matter how long a will has been written, honey. If that was the will of your father, that, my dear Nova, is what he wanted. Whether it's 1989 or 2016, it's going to be what it is. Because Lord knows there have been some wills I've seen where the people wrote that in 1970 something and it's 2016. So he had his estate plan in place. They immediately, without Ralph Angel, started talking about, let's sell the land because we don't want to be tied down with this. And Aunt Vi's like, what? Why do y'all want to do this? You know, my thing is y'all crying over your daddy saying you love your father, but at the same time, you don't want to honor the legacy of your bloodline. You come from a bloodline of farmers. Whether you go out and become big time Hollywood deal negotiating, willing and dealing, whatever, or you become some big shot news reporter, you still got to consider the fact that part of the reason why your father set up his estate in the manner in which he did is that he was in hopes that you children, particularly his son, would be the one to take over and carry on. But instead, y'all saw cut up in your lives and outside of the farm and always wanting to have gotten away from there. And now your dad is gone and you have this piece of property that you're not really sure what to do with. Get it together, Bordelon siblings, which we see in this episode that they do. Poor Aunt Vi was trying to be the mediator in there. She's stuck in the middle. When they get outside, Ralph Angel feels some type of way like she didn't have his back. But the truth of the matter is Auntie Vi has his back all the way because she kept referring to him as baby. Baby. I said, oh Lord, he a baby boy, Jesus. But he's way more responsible than Tyrese's character was. So my advice to the Borderlands during my tweet session was love your daddy by honoring his legacy. Of course, me typing, I said, love your daddy by honoring your father's legacy. I mean, it's one and the same, right? I'm trying, who is too sweet? We see Nova go to the correctional facilities of St. Josephine, which I guess is like county lockup or whatever, or in their case, parish lockup, to visit a young man named Too Sweet. Does she have a son? Or is this just some young man she's mentoring trying to help? And I concur in her opinion that, young man, do not take the plea deal if you're not guilty. Essentially, it sounds like he got caught up in something. I remember years ago in Tulsa, there was a young man similarly situated. They trumped up a bunch of charges, and like Nova said, they're going to trump up charges and try to break you and get you into taking a plea deal. Unfortunately, this is how the justice system works nowadays, because it is so burdened and heavy and laden down with so many violations of criminal statutes, until sometimes it's just best to negotiate the best deal possible. But not, to me personally, not at the behest of taking away someone's freedoms and rights. And so essentially this is what is happening. If Nova is visiting this young man, maybe it's her son, maybe it's someone else's son, cousin, somebody, but either way, she told him to fight it. Because he even said, I'd much rather die in here than to be found guilty of something I didn't do. I'd much rather take it to trial. Unfortunately, as someone who has worked in the criminal justice system, I can tell you this right now, is that what does happen, whether you're guilty or not, sometimes the circumstantial evidence surrounding your case possibly could lead to a conviction with or without hard, fast evidence. If you watch that Netflix documentary, Making of a Murderer, I mean, after watching that, I have doubts too about the dude's, the legitimacy of his conviction. Was it a setup? Were the police upset because, he, was suing them for wrongful imprisonment, because he was wrongfully convicted and spent 17 years of his life in prison? Who the hell wants that? So anyway, let me move on. Let me get past that. Here come Davis, no count ass, coming up in here looking like he just all like, hey, Vi was like, Vi gave him that, Negro, you ain't shit, look, basically, is what she gave him. And then he talking about his shit, is Charley in the house, can I come in? And then he comes in behind her, and, let's tell you something, the Fellowship of Men, even though that's his sister, he the dog. They just, hey, bro, how you doing? Hollywood, Ralph Angel all up in the house. Like, and he like, yeah, I got some balls and some stuff for little Blue, because I want to take care of him. And, I just want to help out. And then, Hollywood, like, hey, what's up, dude? You want something to eat? We ain't got no. We ain't got no. We ain't got no juice. We ain't got no crackers. We ain't got nothing for him to eat on. He needs to go on back up the road and get what he needs and get the hell out. Okay? Because it ain't here for him. So, needless to say, Charley comes out. Well, when Micah comes out, he's like, yo, Dad, what's up? I thought you had already left. He's happy to see his son. Son is happy to see him, which is a change from what his attitude was towards his father in the previous episode, when he told his father, I don't need you. Honestly, to be honest, kids gonna be kids, okay? That little boy is torn. The stuff that he has seen and the type of life he has led, he's confused as hell. Like, I love my mama, love my daddy, but what I'm going to do? So he's stuck in the middle. But then we find out what really happened the night of the alleged sexual assault in Houston. One night of one Greek debacle-like sex orgy, I guess is probably what happened. Davis is like, we need to talk. And she was like, what we need to talk about? And, you know, he was like, can we talk in private? And she was like, no. And then Aunt Vi made me laugh. This is the line of the night. Aunt Vi goes, why not talk here? All, you know, she was basically like, why don't y'all just talk out here? It's not like your shit ain't all out in the street already. Dirty laundry just strewn all up and down the street. So you might as well talk about it here. He was like, oh, the police won't talk to me, or the lawyer or something. And so she was like, okay, let's go outside. And then that's when he finally confesses that, yes, I did have sex with that woman, but no, it was only one time. And she was hired to provide pleasure to us. We hired her from an escort service. I was like, God damn. Well, then you need to go ahead and be honest with the authorities about the fact that I hope you got receipts, and you better call Saul. That's all I got to say. You need to call Saul, because y'all ass is cooked. I mean, if she got paid for sex and it was an escort service and there was money exchange, that's just high class prostitution, Davis. Goodbye. And then he told me, but we gonna be suspended. For the life of me, did you think about getting suspended while you were out here paying for some woman to come and service you guys? And then he tried to make it, but baby, it was only one time. Now Charley got to go down here to the free clinic and make sure she ain't caught nothing from your trifling ass. Okay? Goodbye. And then Micah talking about he want to go with his dad and he ready to leave. I'm like, let's just be honest. Micah is a city boy. His little girlfriend he was on the phone with up there talking about, your family sure got strange name Blue and Ralph Angel. What kind of names is that? Sugar, you have never been to the South, so you would never understand what it's like to have names like Betty Mae and Susan Mae and Billy Ruth. And women are named Billy and all that stuff. I mean, I've never heard of Ralph Angel myself. That's an interesting combination. And we've all heard of Little Boy Blue, come blow your horn, okay? The tides are turning in this episode. We see the siblings start to come together, and they allow Charley to take the lead because they really want to move forward in selling this land, despite the fact that their brother is currently a asset of the criminal justice system of the state of Louisiana. They really want to sell this property, but I was thinking, I said, but if he doesn't want to sell, y'all gonna have to go to court, or you're gonna have to buy him out of his portion or something, or the person is gonna have to share the estate with him. Like, he maintains that 1/3 and the person gets the other, what, 2/3? So, oh well, good luck with that. But in the end, we see a resolve with that. So Charley takes the lead. They meet with that slick snake oil seller, Sam Landry, and he offers them a price that's lower than what Charley knows it to be. But then he's like, but y'all didn't even put crops. You need to have crops in the ground like now, and I'm willing to give you $850 an acre and all this stuff. And so, I mean, it seems like a good deal, but in the end, once they start going through all the paperwork, when they get back home, they find out that their father is in more debt than what they anticipated. Okay, so Charley takes the lead on the negotiations, and I guess that's when Sam figured out that this little girl ain't playing checkers, she playing chess. Yes, Sam, you not the only farmer. You not the only man that thinks you can slick a city slicker as you probably would think as you was. We peep game. So to me personally, my idea came right at the beginning when I said, I don't see why they just don't go ahead and properly establish it as a business if it hasn't been already. Set it up as an LLC or an INC, Borderline LLC Farms, or a Borderline Farms LLC, or Borderline Farms INC, whatever they want to name it, and let Ralph Angel run it. Because even when he was talking to Sam Landry, he was like, well, there's no doubt that you don't know anything about farming. Yeah, because he was a daddy's boy. Let him. And so, you know, and then Charley can be the business end. I'm not sure where Nova would fit in, but maybe she can do some root work on there and bless it and do some witchcraft. So whatever it is she into. I actually think she's more of a root worker than she is. She's about, you know, I don't know, voodoo priestess. I don't know. Who this woman? Who the hell is Roberta? And why the hell is she hanging out at the truck with Auntie Vi's man Hollywood? What's up with that? I mean, she just, oh, it's cute. Oh, what's that? Oh, look at my big chest. Hey, daddy. Ooh, I'm so hot. I was like, if this little heifer don't get the hell away from Aunt Vi's man, and that's part of the reason why Aunt Vi probably was like, child, I'm old and you young, and you know I could die at any time. Look how old my brother was when he just died. This is terrible. But it was so funny because he had his eyes forward the whole time in the truck. He was like, oh, girl, don't touch me. Don't touch me, girl. Don't touch me. Please don't. Oh, here comes by Jesus. Oh, Jesus. But I guess she must do this like all the time. So I guess Vi's like, ain't your break over? Hoochie, if you don't get the hell away from my man, I will take this shoe off and beat you with it. Basically was the look of, I love Aunt Vi. I just love her. She kind of reminds me of my Aunt Peggy in a way. I don't know why. But every time I've ever seen that actress, she's always reminded me of my Aunt Peggy. It's weird. And so her and Hollywood have this sweet tender moment. I don't know if she was on her lunch break or if they were just taking a break. And, she was telling everything that she said negative, he came back with the positive. I don't have that many years left. We're going to have many, many more years together, girl. You better get together, get ready. She told me, you better leave me because I'm going to be gone soon because my brother was only... And he was like, honey, you're just grieving. That's all. You're just grieving, and if you weren't, I'd be concerned. And she says that, I don't feel like myself. And I can honestly tell you this, anytime a loved one dies, do you ever really feel like yourself, especially someone you were close to and you loved? And do we ever really go back to being the same? I don't know. Death came knocking 6 times last year for me. So I can tell you, I'm not the person I was a year ago. So, there we go. Wow, I'm having a moment right now. So, Auntie Vi, it's perfectly okay. I guess that's the parole officer coming by to see Ralph Angel, and he's telling him, you need to get a job. And I really hate how they do parolees, because that's why some of them revert back to doing bad things anyways, is because they're never really given a fair shake. His daddy just died. Why are you well, you should have called and told me. Who thinks about shit like that? Like, I need to call my parole officer because my daddy just died. The hell? But either way, I do like this parole officer. He doesn't strike me as a jerk. He strikes me as being very, very understanding and patient, but trying to make sure that Ralph Angel gets what he needs. He gives him a referral, and glory be to God, he gets a job. I mean, it's hard work, but at least it's a job, 40 hours a week. So at least he can provide and show that he's getting a paycheck, praise the Lord. So I'm still trying to figure out, Ralph Angel, where this damn check you were talking about last week was coming from. I was like, are you getting SSI and we don't know about it? But I was thinking the same, again, when he was telling him he needed a job, I said, well, maybe you need to just set the farm up, put him on a 1099 or something so he can have proof of income or something. That's what Charley and Nova should consider doing. Oh, so here we are at Auntie Vi's cafe where she works just around the way, and that's when Mr. Remy Newell comes in. And Charley gets all to my, oh, excuse me, ladies. Hey, how you doing, Remy? I see you. How you doing? I said, oh, look, I want to call, what is it, Remy DeVoe or whatever it was, or Remy DeVoe, which is Gambit in X-Men. That's what I want to call him so bad, but I'm like, it's Remy Newell. He got on his Stetson hat and boots and stuff. Oh, hey, Remy, how you doing? He was like, are they selling lattes up in here now? So anyway, he invites her over to a potluck that all the local farmers have. And well, she plays all coy, like, no, I want to come. I'm sorry, no, I don't want to come. Oh my God, I'm still married. I have a kid. Oh my God, what am I thinking? And so, she's trying to play all coy and stuff, but he invites her out. And he tells her also that Sam Landry is a dirty, no count, no good snake oil salesman. So you need to steer clear because he's one of those that likes. So Aunt Vi has to put them in formation about Ralph Angel. Y'all need to stop talking to Raw like that. Y'all need to stop bullying him. Y'all act like he's incapable of doing anything. And I said, that's right, Auntie Vi. You check them about your baby. Because I have a feeling for some reason that Aunt Vi probably really raised Ralph Angel. And that's why she's willing to do and go forth and do almost anything for him. Something going on outside the farmhouse, child. I think that's when we got an inside look as to how and why Ralph Angel ended up in prison. He has a temper, or he has fits of rage, or something. There's a trigger point there. Dude talking about, I came here to collect your tractor because he was behind on payments. And in my mind, I was thinking, that's mighty funny that you would show up now. And this man just died, and you going to come start picking things off. The vulture sure will come. I mean, just like she said, I can just write you a check. Charley was like, I can just write you a check. He was like, no, ma'am, I can't take that. Oh, you could take a check, but y'all just want to take that. And like, if she's writing you a check, it's not like she can go out and buy another Caterpillar or a John Deere. Come on now. Work with the sister. So next thing you know, Ralph Angel went in the house and got him a Saturday night special. Shit, he gonna blow that man's brains off. And so I guess dude is used to people, especially in backwoods Louisiana. I'm sure everybody's got some sort of firearm. So he was prepared too with his sidekick homeboy, coming to help him out. And he was like, if you pull a gun on my family, you better know how to use it. That's what Ralph Angel said. He said, because I sure know how to use mine. I was like, oh. But before that, what pissed me off with them, Aunt Vi just told y'all to stop bullying Ralph Angel. And I think that was the trigger point. So, and I know how that feels. Like, everybody's just picking up and gathering up stuff around you. Like, when my Aunt Betty died, I just felt so out of sorts. And it was like, everything just happened, but it was happening without me. And I was like, I used to live here too. She meant something to me too. So, oh, here we go again. I'm crying. It's just a minute. Let me get myself together. So his dad meant something to him. I'm like, why would y'all do that? And Nova's just like, we just need to get it over and done with. I'm like, I know y'all want to but maybe there is some stuff he wants to keep. Really? That's cold. So I think that, and then you trying to take away additional property that belonged to his daddy. He was like, fuck it, I ain't got nothing to lose. You ain't taking shit else. I will blow everybody's brains out. And then, here comes little Blue. And Blue comes running out. And he's like, Daddy, Pop, don't come here. Stop, Pop. And I was like, he must have seen this before too, because even he knew how to intervene and help out his daddy to make him stop. So, he just crying. And then when they get back in the house, when all is said and done and they get settled, and I was like, Lord, please don't let these people call the cops on him for this. I mean, it just was really sad. And then because of his loneliness, he was drinking, and then he ended up back at the Pandora's box to drown his sorrows in what I'm calling a sea of trouble, which is Blue's mom. I think her name is Daisy on here. Next thing you know, poor little Blue probably is going to have a little sister named Sue or Azul or Verde or Roja or something, because shit, I'm just like, or maybe they'll name the little girl Violet. Maybe it won't be a little girl. Maybe it'll be a boy and they can name him Red too or something. I don't know. All I know is, do you really want to take it there? In the words of Tyrese, he was like, I want to go there. You know, he is chocolatey like Tyrese, too. Hey, Ralph Angel. Charley done pooched on down to the potluck. I knew she was going, girl, you cannot play coy. Plus, you are over and done with your man who been pooching around and pooching up in all these different women. Got you going down to the free clinic trying to make sure you ain't got nothing. Then wondering, oh, shit, is that where I got that case of crabs from? Whatever. Everyone's meeting together, talking about their stories, talking about how people are always trying to steal the land from black farmers. And we've heard that before. I think the NAACP had a case that they worked for black farmers. And so anyways, that goes on. Remy reminds Charley that it's so easy for you because, you know, basically cash is king. They want greenbacks down here. He's like, you got to remember you're a millionaire, so you have options. We don't. This is all we know. When she gets back home from the potluck, Michael like, look, Mama, I done packed your stuff. And I was like, that's such a good son. He is such a respectful little boy. Well, until he started expressing himself, then I was like, is this Tariq's cousin? Y'all, when I say Tariq, I'm talking about Power. I'm talking about Ghost and Tasha's smart mouth kid. He was like, well, I'm ready to go. We need to be here to support Dad. Because when his dad came by, he was like, we just going to let him go to Houston by himself? And then now he's like, do you even care about Dad? Well, if you ain't going, I'm going. I was like, how he going to get somewhere? But then again, I thought about his daddy probably gave him a credit card and he probably got Uber on his damn, does Uber even come to St. Josephine Parish? She was like, your dad has done some things that, you know, it's going to come out. And, you know, he was like, but do you really think he raped that lady? And she was like, hell no. She probably want to say, your daddy like hoes. He don't want no lady. He want a hoe. I did all I could. I said, hell, we might as well cue the damn Lemonade album right now. And, shit, what's that song? Oh, because like when he was talking about I was sorry, I was like, I ain't sorry. Hell no, I ain't sorry. Trying to roll me up. Hey, but I ain't picking up. I ain't thinking about you, but I'm thinking about Remy Newell though. Hey, okay, I'm sorry. That's why I'm going to the potluck. I ain't thinking about you. And just like she could also do, when you hurt me, you hurt yourself. Try not to hurt yourself. Hey, that Beyonce would be a good soundtrack for this whole Davis and Charley debacle episode. By the way, just as a plug, did y'all hear that Ken Do talking about he wants spousal support from MJB? Baby, but you know what? All is fair. They've been married for over 10 years. And he was her manager. He did support her. And he did procure, probably not under a manager's contract. He really shouldn't have been doing that. But probably did procure her gigs or advise her at the best possible gigs to take. But I digress. Let me get through this Queen Sugar episode. Micah popped off on his mama, and I was just like, there are things in adult relationships that you will never understand, so shut the hell up, little boy, and go on, pooch on back to L.A., Houston, wherever it is you going, because I understand that's your daddy, okay. But Ralph Angel, things are looking up. In addition to getting some cookies and milk from his baby mama, he also got a job, which his parole officers referred to him. And at first the dude was sitting there looking, I see dudes like you. Ralph Angel's like, yeah, I did that shit, but I'm getting my shit together, okay? I'm putting that behind me. I just want to move forward with my life. I was like, go ahead, all right. And then on top of that, the sisters tell him, we've got great news. We're going to give this thing a year, see if we can't get some crops going. We want you to move into Pop's house, you and Blue, and we're going to let you run the farm. And it's like a win-win day for Ralph Angel. So he had 3 good things happen in the span of 24 hours. Let's see how that goes. So I was like, yay, the borderline siblings are going to keep the farm. Yay. I was so excited. That's pretty much the episode. We saw some previews and we see Charley popping off on David, sorry, behind once again, talking about how many times has his family had to cover for you. So apparently this might be a situation where he's always been a hoe and she was in the know, but you know, she just kind of always tend to look the other way and probably have been suffering in silence. I have a perfect life. I have all this money. And, you know, I noticed in the episode that Ralph Angel kind of brought that up about how, you know, all y'all talked about was always leaving. Like, it was only you came here for the summers. And I'm like, so Charley only was there for the summers. Is No, but Ralph Angel is the baby. I'm assuming Nova might be the oldest, or maybe Charley might be the oldest. I'll have to look that up and research that one because I'm like, which one is the oldest sibling? Okay, so that is it. I am out. This concludes my review, analysis, discussion. Queen Sugar. I have looked at Atlanta. I'm gonna keep giving it a chance. Plus a fellow comedian, Donald Glover. Is that his name? Yeah. I didn't realize that's who that was until I was like, oh, I love his comedy. But the show is interesting. Shout out for American Horror Story returning. They just call it American Horror Story 6. I was like, okay. I'll have to watch that tomorrow and figure out what if I'm going to start reviewing that. Anywho, I'm about to get off here because I'm rambling. But we also still need to have our race, racism, and American law discussion. I did have a very good dialogue today on one of my friends' pages with another young woman who really was trying to understand Colin's perspective because she is a white woman raising black daughters, basically. They're biracial. But like we have said time and time again, the cops aren't going to ask you which parent is white when they shoot you. She even recognizes that it's more so the black males that are being murdered than the black females. But I said, honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. You have to hold your kids tight and you have to teach them how to survive in this world where the color of your skin is a factor. But anyways, that's not part of this discussion. Again, I'll probably log on here probably tomorrow night so we can have dialogue about race, racism, and American law. I think it's very important. We've seen far too many calamities and atrocities within the justice system to ignore. We see where people are too privileged to go to prison for a first-time offense for violating someone's rights to say no. Let me get off here. We'll talk about it tomorrow night. Let's try to have that discussion. I'll try to do it earlier, especially for my Central Time Zone people. Good night.